Thank you so much, Barnabas.
I'm not necessarily the one that's. I mean, am I the one doing the interview?
Yes, it's an exit interview.
Okay, whose idea was it? Okay, exactly. Okay, welcome to Eugene's exit interview. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys are able to join me. I'm so glad you stopped by and decided to have this conversation with me.
I'm the one that planned it.
I know.
I literally reached out to Andrea and was like, I want to do an exit interview with Allison because one, we don't have anything with just us both on camera. I have you on camera by yourself for something that I shot when I first started shooting.
You do have me and you. Ask your dad. By the way,
no,
Eugene's dad, I'm black. Cornrows. Brown skin.
Have cornrows.
Individual braids.
Oh my gosh.
Brown skin.
For those that don't know, my dad thought Allison was white.
Clearly I'm black. That is so weird to me that somebody, you can tell I'm black, right?
No.
Right?
Not if they just hear you.
Okay, now the first question.
No.
Which one of us is more washed? It was so funny because I actually was going to ask you this question. I was going to ask you a question. How are we similar? How are we most similar? And then when you said that, I was like, I hope that is not the way we're most similar.
For those at home that are watching this on your devices, please know, Allison thinks that I am way more washed than her. This is not true.
The fact that you said this is not true means that you're more washed than me. Okay.
Okay, but we are here
to do an exit interview for Eugene.
But I was thinking though, when I came here to Los Angeles in 2015, I've been under you for almost 7 years.
Did you meet me immediately or how long before, like when you first got here?
I moved here July, went on the road, did that short, came back. I met you September of that year.
Wow, what a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Your pleasure for sure.
But you taught me how to produce live shows so I can walk into an auditorium and produce a live show. You taught me how to call a show. I had never called a show before then. And you taught me how to produce media. All of that was you.
I'm amazing.
So the fact that this is, oh my God.
I'm amazing. I'm just kidding. No, that's awesome though. But no, because I keep forgetting because you're so talented. I mean, but you knew certain things before you came in because you had already done. Remember the thing you did for you?
Yeah.
But I was like, it's so weird that you started off green because it just doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it. You've been through a lot here and you've been really consistent, so I'm really proud of you. But 2 years ago, I don't know. You know what's so interesting? We never talked about this publicly on camera, especially.
We'll see if it makes it to the final edit.
Because 2 years ago, where were you? Like as far as mentally?
The pandemic, first of all.
The pandemic, first of all. But we was working. We was too busy.
We were working. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you, please. Thank you.
I mean, we were not at home during the pandemic, locked up. If anything, we went through the roof in the hours because we're media.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but you were not really happy though.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It was a very tough time for you, and people don't know how much you were going through.
Yeah. No,
I didn't know.
Right, because I've been suicidal twice here.
I know.
Yeah, and like you would say, you'd be like, Eugene, that mask?
Ooh, that thing go tight.
Like, it ain't moving. You and Fred both. Fred got so concerned. He would just be like, why don't you talk to anyone? But that's when I started going back to therapy.
Yeah.
But this place, it really hasn't been bad as much as it's stretched me, and I'm glad that it has. Was it tough? Yes. Was there a lot of learning to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
But when you say stretch me, what do you mean? Because I mean, people don't know what
that means. I am black and from the South. My community growing up in South Carolina, Union, South Carolina, if you were black, you voted Democrat. So we're just gonna go politics, right?
Yeah, that's so scary.
This is why my dad.
I don't care.
That's why my dad.
So annoying. I would have been dying in the South. I would have been dying in the South. That's so funny. But no,
I'm sorry.
I would have been dead.
But seriously though.
But you're in the land of California, the land of the Democrats.
Okay, here's my thing. So being in South Carolina, music took me through a lot of different churches, denominations. So of course I was around Republicans, but they were all white. And they were all like white, Barnabas behind the camera. They're all Presbyterian white boys.
Good boys though.
But I was used to a certain definition for a Democrat and Republican or conservative. So going from a red state, but raised in a blue home, and then moving out here to a blue state and working in one of the most red organizations ever was. Don't encourage this, man.
Oh my God, just kidding. Go
But
ahead.
the thing was too, like people don't understand. What was 2016? Election year.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
So my first year, I came on full time February 2nd. Trump runs.
That's amazing. That's
Did
sucks
you just
for
make a
you.
tea? Y'all.
I'm a Trumper. Look at it. Just kidding. I'm not Trump.
She's not. She's
I don't
not.
like being called a
we,
Trumper.
we would not be this close if you were a Trumper.
But I did vote for Trump. And,
You did.
Yeah, and I
oh
think
my
he's cool.
God! Ring the bell, somebody.
Ding, ding,
oh
ding,
my.
ding.
Anywho.
Because, well, no, let's talk about this. I really
Okay.
want to hear this because I'm gonna tell you my side of it because you know that I'm very unique too, even in my
You
conservatism.
are.
But go ahead.
And this is why you're more washed. But but it was very hard because I will never forget. I remember being in a conference session in 2016. I was sitting on the front row, and they were talking about how Trump was God's man, and it was the whole thing like this, yeah. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is going on? Because like, wait a minute. First of all,
That's awesome.
you know, I'm like, okay, these are church leaders, they're here. But then it turned into this thing about Trump, and then everybody started getting riled up, and they got really excited. And this lady, I will never forget, and she was not white, and I think that's very important to understand because,
Ooh, wow.
well, no, it's very important for everybody watching because I think people have certain pictures in their mind when it comes to people that voted for Trump.
Right.
And this organization is very diverse, and that's one thing that people don't understand. So there's an Asian lady comes running down to the front,
I see her.
and I can see her right now in my mind because I was so shocked. You can imagine me. I was like, what is happening? She had a Trump banner, and she went up to the front, and the speaker called her on stage, and everybody in that room lost their minds. They were so excited.
Was I there?
I don't think you were there.
I don't think so.
I don't think you were there.
This is not a
They lost their minds. So yeah. So just imagine me. And I'm like, and this is when I first start. Like this is August of that year.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
So it's getting close to election. So that's just one thing I think being here.
What did you think when you're standing there?
These people crazy as hell.
This can't be long, Lord.
No. What is this? Why am I here?
Oh my God, that's so bad for you. So good for me.
But it was years passed before I was like, oh, this was good for me to be here.
But then you didn't even know I was a conservative at that time, right? I don't think you knew that I was a conservative because we hadn't got that close yet.
I don't know. You kind of wear that with a badge of honor.
But you know, it's so funny because that's what I was going to say. Like, even with me, because I'm kind of where I've grown since I met you. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I had to learn that was too much of my identity.
Well, I called you out on it one day.
Okay, but
No, not well.
but wow.
No,
wait, where's my fan?
No, it was this thing of where like I was just shocked that was the first thing you would say when I know that you're very proud of being a Christian.
Of course.
And at that point, it was like conservative was the most known thing that you would put out there first. And I found that to be interesting. I didn't call you out in a negative way. I was like, this is interesting. Like you do this.
It is interesting. I think because during that season, that time, because for me it's like, yes, I get to say it,
Right.
and I don't care because
Right.
I grew up, being a black Republican, and then and the only one in my family, and then I will say I grew up in a somewhat black conservative church. I don't know if they talked about being Republican or Democrat so much, but we definitely were voting biblically in our minds what that means.
Right, sure,
You know what I mean?
sure.
And so I think that was after going through those other two elections for me with Obama, no shade, not my dude.
You were not a fan?
Not a fan. I mean,
Both times you weren't a
Yes,
fan.
no, wasn't vote for that dude. Cried, and it's not because that sounds weird being black saying that. It sounds weird being black saying it on camera. It had everything to do with his views, especially when it comes to pro-life, pro-choice. We just don't think the same, and so I think not 2 years, 8 years of dealing with that. Being able to say that out loud and not be ashamed and not to be chastised about it, I was kind of in a good mood.
Right.
It was kind of nice to me. I was like this. Finally, I'm not the outsider.
Right. Well, it's also this thing where I understood the thing that you're oppressed about is the thing that you will start to find your identity in. So you've been oppressed, and you've dealt with a lot of backlash.
They was oppressing me. Sorry.
So you were very, very happy. So that's just one thing being here that was very hard for me. And
that's the first year.
The first year.
Wow. But okay, so let's think about it. So you went through that was 2016. Mm-hmm. That's 6-7 years ago. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. And now it's so interesting. Not that you're not definitely not Republican.
No.
You sure?
Positive.
You sure?
1,000%.
But you definitely are not ultra liberal either.
No.
Do you think you were ultra liberal earlier? Or you were more liberal?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely wasn't pro-life. Mm-hmm. And even now, my definition of pro-life, I think, is different from yours. Mm-hmm. It's not a voting matter for me.
Okay. That's not my only voting matter. We know that. But when I'm talking about me, I'm talking about you.
Yeah, mine is it's like 13th on the list. I care way more about climate change and other things.
Bring it up.
Okay. But now to sit in this very interesting space of like, I would love for these babies to be born. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm like, there are so many things I think we need to get in place to actually welcome them into. So it just gets a little gray and muddled. But before I was like, okay. If you have an abortion, you have an abortion. Life goes on.
I know. I remember that. I was so like,
something that I couldn't say here.
Oh, I know.
I couldn't say that.
You can say it to me. So let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. So starting with in I guess 2016, what's different about you? Oof. What's different? What is the thing you most notice about yourself that's different?
While I realized that I was in a very conservative organization, something that I had to remind myself is I'm around people who feel like they can be themselves because they're in a very liberal city.
I remember you saying that before. Yeah.
And so I had to wrestle with that, and I had to really okay, this is why they're so verbose and vocal about their beliefs here, because this is where they feel safe. They don't feel safe to say this in other areas outside of their gathering.
That's very compassionate. To be honest with you, that takes a lot of compassion, because I don't know if I would have done that. I would have just been mad. I'm being honest. I was just being honest. Like I was saying that you don't hear certain things because it's similar to white privilege. It doesn't affect me, so I can choose if it affects me or not.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's kind of weird. I don't think I've ever thought of myself as being one of those people, but in that case, that's true. And then that means I'm wondering how many other times in other situations am I doing the same thing?
Mm-hmm. I agree. One thing is that I've learned to ask more questions than to make more statements. I used to make a lot of statements.
You were very emphatic, yes.
Very emphatic. Just off the hip, this is what I think, this is what it should be.
And I don't care what you think.
And I do not care what you think.
Exactly.
And then you start to be around people who have another perspective. And then you start to go, where'd that perspective come from? Why are they thinking this?
What made you switch? What was the switch in that? Because that definitely is something that's more evolved about you. Like, that's a switch. When did that switch? And why?
And why?
And why? Because it had to be something that just because you came in hot, bro.
I came in hot. I came in hot into an organization that was hot.
We're still hot.
I mean, it is what it is. I think it's because I kept trying to apply for jobs and I couldn't leave. No one was hiring me. So it's kind of like stuck. That's number one.
With me though.
So but here's the thing though. It's funny, but because I noticed, bro, you're not going anywhere. How are you going to use this time? You're going to just be over here and complain and talk about how this is so hard, or are you going to actually learn something?
Wow.
Can you actually take this time and go, you know what, since I'm going to be here, what can I learn? How can I be a better person? How can I be a better man?
But that just seems too easy. You mean to tell me just because of your situation, you decided, I'm going to get the best out of this?
Yes.
That was it.
I come from a home where I was abused physically, verbally, and you learn how to survive. And one of the ways I learned how to survive was to always think, okay, well, one day I'm going to do this. What can I get from this situation now? Wow. What can I learn now? What can I do now?
That's a great coping mechanism because it really is, you evolve. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I would have done that. So tell me some of the other things that caused you to even like change perspective that way. Like, I mean, you would have never thought that God would have brought you in my life in the sense
Never.
that the type of person I am.
Never.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I'm a mess. I mean, I'm a fantastic person, but it's
Conservative
very
mess.
I think simple mess. Yeah. Yeah.
Meeting Fred,
Right.
game changers. Game changers for me. Two very, very, very close people that have looked after me, loved me, that are different, that think different. Fred
From
and
one
I,
another or from you?
from me,
Okay.
and from one another, because y'all are not the same.
No, we're
either.
not. We're not.
Fred and I have being his friend has really changed me. Like I would have never thought I would have Asian friends.
And just think what joined you guys together. The fat lands.
Being fat. Being fat made us
If
friends.
y'all weren't fat, y'all would not be friends.
Fat friends. Look at those fat friends.
The picture of you guys in that garage. Look at that camera. Working out. It's amazing.
Just sweating.
The glory days.
Oh my God. Just
But
fat.
that is not fun. Is that really like the fatness?
That's how we became close. Seriously.
You see the tissue. He's crying.
That's how we became. I'm really crying.
He's really crying because it's like so funny.
That's how we became friends. I'll never forget because you know I'm always looking for content.
Wait, how'd you guys come with the fat link?
That was Fred. Fred was really smart about it. So,
Wait, stop.
I'm sorry. I'm crying.
He's crying, y'all. He needs a tissue.
Hold on. Somebody grab me a tissue, please.
Oh my God.
Somebody, anybody. There's a napkin in there.
That was so funny.
All right. But no, so what happened was
Okay, I'm not gonna laugh.
I like came into work. That's back when we were in the other building. And you know, all of the communications team and everybody was working in one place. I'm trying to be nice. I'm about to spit on myself. We were all in that room. So I walked in, and I'll never forget one day I was like, man, I want to do like content, but I want to like get in shape and then do content.
Dang.
And so I saw Fred, and I was like, he has a great personality and he's fat. So we both can like.
Wait, you literally thought, hey, fat boy.
I was like, he has a great personality and he's fat.
Hey, fat boy, you have a great personality.
Because we weren't even close then.
Oh my God, you were thinking that.
So
Oh my God, that's the best.
I pitched the idea to him. I was like, hey, now my idea was.
And you guys weren't even friends.
No!
Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God, this is the best story ever. I never knew you were coming together. Story.
Yes. So I was like, hey, I have this idea. What if my idea was to lose weight, then do videos and tell people how we lost weight. Fred's idea was, what if we take people on the journey? So
To the fat journey.
and that's how Escape from the Fat Lands was birthed.
And that's how you guys became good friends.
That's how. It was during that process we became super close.
Fred coming into your life.
Yes.
What is the change because of Fred's friendship?
Perspective. Again, like it really does all come down to like a different perspective. Fred has really taught me friendship. Other people have as well by being consistent. He was just the last one that really drove it home for me. Like Fred and I have had hard conversations. We do not agree on everything. The same thing.
You're right, of
You know, we
course.
don't agree on everything.
Right.
But that man, consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent in his friendship.
Yeah.
And I'm just truly grateful for that. And he'll cry for me when I can't find any kind of emotion, and he'll be like, man, I just love you so much. I believe in you.
Oh,
So,
Fred.
great friend.
So, that's so sweet.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question then. Did you also approach me because I was fat?
Oh my gosh. No.
Actually, I approached you.
No.
No, Eugene. I'm telling you, the first time I saw you was in the line in the lobby.
You were standing at a table because you were doing sign-ups.
And I said, "Hey, you. Why do
I was walking towards you.
No, you were in the line because other people were talking to me and I was distracted by you. I'm going to be honest with you.
This is fake news.
This is real news.
This is what happens when you vote for people that do fake news.
And this is what happens to you
fake
when you are
testimonies.
not
They give you
a
fake
Republican.
testimonies.
This is what happens when you're not a Republican. You're a lost black person. All you unevolved black people. Still on that same train.
People are like, how are they so close?
Nowhere.
Oh, my Oh my God!
Set you free.
Yo, this is...
No, Eugene, I'm going to tell you this.
Wait.
When I remember, I was at the table.
You know,
And I
memory
remember seeing you, because there was a line. You weren't at the front of the line.
No, I remember I was walking towards you, though.
But I was like this, I need to know you. I knew I need to know you.
I'll give that to you.
Because you are fat, and I wouldn't take
But we met before I met Fred.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying I remember when I had an instant connection.
Yes.
Like there was something about you that I was like, there's something about you.
Yes.
And remember I told you, even when you came to the training, I spent so much time talking to you. I didn't talk to the rest of the people.
It's a wise woman.
It's because you're black. Just kidding.
Wise woman.
No,
wise
but no,
woman.
there was an instant connection.
Yes.
Like people who I know, I need them to be a part of my life.
I would have never thought meeting you when I met you, I'll be sitting here today.
I know.
Never.
I would have never thought
seriously,
that either.
Never.
No.
And another thing too that people don't understand, you've looked out for me personally.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Like, no, you have. Like, even
nice.
when I couldn't afford, because I had a career change. I'm starting over when I moved out here. Nothing. Me trying to go see my family, have no money. You guys would pay for that. People don't know that.
You know, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, you've done that.
I'm a nice person. See, get on the Republican train.
Oh my gosh.
No, but you know what's so funny, Eugene? I didn't even think about that, and I don't even remember it, to be honest with you. But I know that you you have the most unique relationship with me. You're gonna think this is odd, but you, more than anyone, helped me solidify my core values.
Really? Huh. What are they?
Well, like for instance, we'll talk
one.
about the next question. One.
Okay.
But let me say what I mean by that. You helped me to give language to how I felt, things I felt strongly about. So one of my core values is vulnerability. And I thought about one of the questions I wanted to ask you when it comes to me. What are some, and this is me being vulnerable. What is one of the lessons you learned from me, and you're like, oh, not because it was good, but I'll never do or be that. Something that I do or something about me that you've learned that's like, that you learned it. It's a good thing you learned it.
But I don't want to emulate
But you don't want to emulate.
Ooh. I don't think you believe people when they show you who they are.
Wow.
And I've seen you come back numerous times and people are still like, nope, still here, still doing the same thing. And you'll be like, they're going to get better, they're going to get better. And you come back and I'm like, Allison, these people, Allison, this person. And you would just go and you'll come back. And it's really helped me. The negative side of that is passing judgment too fast. But if I see a consistent pattern, I'm like, And part of that is because I've seen you
Be honest.
waste time with people.
And you know what? It's so true. Why do I do that? When I think about it, I think I know there are clowns. I do have hope against hope. I know people don't know that about me.
You do.
I do have hope against hope. And I do, because I think sometimes I've stretched out grace too much for certain people, but it's paid off. But I do think in this season of my life, I have to agree with you that I have to get past it because it has wasted a lot of my time. Yeah, and the thing I'm always telling you, time is too valuable. That's all you get. And I'll be wasting it. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. But I will say, but I do appreciate that about you, that because you're always forcing me to look at myself, which people don't realize that about our relationship, that, you know, you're always like, oh, you're way better than that. You're always trying to get me, you're way better than that. I'm like, no. No, I don't want to go. It's like somebody been dragged.
Right,
you know?
right.
I mean, but
right.
no, I thought that was important because I was thinking if I were talking to somebody who's like a mentor or somebody that's older that I love, I wish they would ask me that question. You know what I mean?
No, that's an amazing question. I would have never thought you were going to ask that.
Oh, yeah, I think that's important because I think that's important for you. That you know, I think it's an important thing about having great relationships with people.
Yes.
Doesn't mean they're perfect. Like, even when it comes to mentors, people should understand that you're not having a relationship with somebody who's perfect or more mature than you in all areas.
Yes. And I would say this. Now, what I have learned from you that is a great lesson, I don't have to, how do I want to say this? We don't have to share all of the same deep beliefs in order for me to mentor someone.
Right.
Because I've challenged you. I've in a way that's like, hey, like, can we survive this? Let's see. And we have. And it'll be interesting, like, after my last day here, what that looks like going forward, because it will go forward.
Right.
And I think we'll have even more honest conversations and talk about certain things. But you've been very good at being like, okay.
But you know why, though? To be honest with you, I'll tell you what the I guess the key ingredient is because I deeply love you.
Yes.
Like, I really love you. So I was like, when we had that conversation, I told you it was really challenging for me. I was like, I had to sit with that. I was like, because you know what the familiar feeling was remember when I told you about my closest friend, where I had that, and I was like, okay, we're gonna go through this again. We're gonna have to get, and then I was like, okay, you have to adjust, because I had to adjust because I felt like I'm gonna be in your life. She would not adjust. Does it make sense? And so I thought that our relationship was valuable. I'm going to adjust, and we will have a relationship that we can at this point. And it'll grow when everybody grows up, or whatever that looks like, you know what I mean? And then it leveled off, and then we're able to have a very transparent conversation. Okay, this is what you think, this is what I think, or this is what I don't think, this is what I don't, this is what I don't know what I think, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that was cool, and I was like, and I can, I know that, like, I deeply, deeply care for you. Do you know what I mean? I deeply care for you, and I want you to win. And so that's the main ingredient. Like, when the Bible says that that's the most valuable thing, it really is the root of love. That's like, oh no, I love you, Gene. I always want to be in your life. That's why I loved you so much. I wanted you to win and go to the next step.
Yes, and we've laughed a lot about the political stuff because our relationship, we can do that.
Right.
But I remember you having this thought where you said, because we talked about it, you know what? I'm not going to talk about that as much anymore because I want to be known for my faith in Christ, and I'd rather love you and love my friends. Y'all know where I stand.
Yeah.
But no need for me to keep talking about this.
Because it's not.
And I remember you dropping that and me being like, that's amazing. No, and not even like that's amazing. Thank God you've stopped talking about it. But amazing as in like that was part of it. But it was amazing because it was. I wonder where I do that in my life, because I have friends all over that really hold tight and speak very vocally about certain things. And I'm like, I've heard you. I know where you are in that. Like, but every time I see you, do we have to talk about this? Like every single time? And so it helped me to go back and reevaluate and say, what is my goal? Why, like, what do I want to point people to? What do I want to leave?
Yeah, I love when you said that, because I remember you said that. Where do I want to point people to? And I think for me, a lot of times we spend so much time talking about what we don't like about people, you know, and I'm sure my kids have heard enough of that, but I just don't remember Jesus being that way with me. He got his point across, because it's always been a mess, still a mess in so many ways. He got his point across, and he never, he got his point across, told me what the problem was, but always showed me the way out. And instead of, like, there were times I just could not match his steps, he would slow down, which I appreciate that. And so that I want to be that. I want to be that. And so the challenge is not, it's about not, I want to be like him. So what can I do that he would do?
I'll never forget 2021.
Oh,
first of all, 2021 was just the top of 2021, I thought, what kind of hurricane am I in right now? Because Fred's dad passed away.
Oh, it was horrible.
And then that next month, you remember in one day, I woke up.
It was horrible.
One of my close friends said that their parent passed away. Later on that afternoon, I get on the phone call. One of my best friends says, hey, I'm moving out of the state. Right after that, another very, very, very close friend of mine calls and says, my parent passed away.
Oh, you're like, somebody else called me.
I was like, what is going on?
No.
And you were like, this is the funny part, because you do have your deep moments, but then you have your moments where it's so crazy that we're just going to laugh. You went, oh, Lord.
You didn't
even try to give me encouragement. You said, oh, Lord. Because I kept calling you, and you were like, that's
wow.
a lot, Eugene.
I was like, that is a lot. That is a lot. I was like, dang.
Because you knew I was dealing with like Fred's dad passing away too.
I was like, your herd was about to be killed next. I was like, come on, Lord.
You was like, another one came.
I was like, Job, okay.
Yes, because you kept saying another one came. Another one. Before that one could stop speaking, another one came.
Don't the animals baying in the back.
But that was rough time. So we've been through
a lot of seasons.
A lot of hard times. But you know what? I hope and pray, and this is true, I really hope that I make you proud. I really do.
You know
I
what?
really do.
And I will say, because you have. Like, I'm telling you, because you were such a clown when we first met. Yeah. But you've always been, you're like my clown, so I've always enjoyed our relationship. But I'm so proud of the way you're transitioning through this, from this particular job to the next job. Because that's what it is for me. It's like you're transitioning from one job to another job. Though there were hard and tough times, I'm glad that I was stretched. I'm a better man. I'm a wiser man. I can communicate with way more people. I can really hold conversations. Because like when I first started, I just wasn't interested. Right. And now I'm very much interested. I learned how to turn on a camera here. I know. I learned how to turn on a camera here. Just out of I need to learn this. Alex Strauss. Alex Strauss, shout out. Yes, Alex, hey! Like, Alex was leaving. There's no one lined up. Leo was like, I let you get in front of me. So thank you, Leo, who's sitting up there on the side. You're welcome. I know, but for real, Leo was welcome. Like, I let you get ahead of me. But I learned how to turn on the camera here, and practice. And that's another thing. Show me another place. Tell me another place where I not only was mentored, but my mentor and my boss said, take everything that we have available, go practice. Yeah. And I started to create content that way. I have with you something that I don't know if my other friends have. No, none of my friends have mentors like you in their lives that I know of. Let me say that. I am a unicorn as well. You are. You are. You are. No, I think I think it's the difference. I don't think it's me. Because I'll tell you this, and this is like me and David, we've talked about this like when it comes to mentoring people. I said, David, sometimes you got to get off the porch, bro. You got to get off the porch and run on the road. Because everybody ain't going to come. They come and they scared to come, so you got to run off the porch. You never made me run off the porch. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And the depth of our relationship has to do with you being a person who is hungry and thirsty after righteousness' sake. For sure. And that's different. And you don't always have that. You don't have people who really love God, who love God's word, who want to do right. And that's the thing that people don't know about you. You talk crazy, but you always want to do right, 100%. I don't talk crazy with everyone. Yeah, I know. But you gotta like be in the circle. But it's not even so much that you talk crazy. You can be very aloof, and people don't know how. You think so? Me? Aloof? Wait, that's what you're talking about right there, please. How am I aloof? I would not use that word to describe me. Do you think I'm aloof? When you don't know him, thank you. Aloof? Yes. Aloof. The scarf and the glasses. You don't know what's happening with you. With me or with other, like me being aloof with other people? People don't know what's up with you and now that's true. Stand. They don't know where they stand. Now that's true. And so it's like, that's true. They have no idea. Yeah, because they don't need to know. That's what I do, and I feel it because I do that. It's like, stop, you're acting crazy. They don't need to know. Looking at the pool. They don't, just saying. They don't. Everyone does not need to know. I know, but you don't have to make it so hard to know. You're like, you don't even like this. It's like, can I just, like, it's like the door says, do not enter. And, somebody just wants to,
You slam it.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
No, with the finger stuck in there, show the finger out, slam it again.
No, it's. I had a mentor say this to me one time, and it was so good. He said, Eugene, Jesus gave everybody his gifts, his talent, his message, right? Gave it freely.
Right.
Now, everybody didn't get, he was Christ because he was telling some people not, whatever.
Right.
But he says, Jesus gave all these things away freely to the crowds. But when it came to who he gave himself to, he chose wisely. And I'll never forget him telling me that in Texas. He said, choose wisely who you give yourself to.
Now, that's a good one. Because you know what? I'm definitely, that's how we are the same. Because I seem like I'm very, oh, yes, everybody. No, I'm not. 3x3. It's always around me.
And
unless you have
to.
an invitation. It's like invitation only.
I had not bad people, and I really want to run that home. Not bad people, just not the right people. And when you don't have the right people in your life, or they're too close to you when they should not be, you mess up what you are supposed to be doing, what you are called to do. I was derailing myself. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, and I get it.
And then I had to rearrange. And it goes back to Dr. A.R. Bernard, when he talks about when it's time.
Oh, so good.
Love that guy. When it's time for a personal renewal with relationships, you have to retrain, tell people now, hey, this is where I am in life.
So you can stay here.
So if you want to stay here, this is what I need from you.
Yeah.
You can reposition. Sometimes I gotta move you out of the inner circle, move you outside.
And maybe 2 circles.
Maybe 2 circles over. But if I cannot retrain you, if I cannot reposition you, then that third R is very important. I have to retire you.
Go watch.
And I had to learn to retire people properly. Have I always done it the right way? No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
You know what? You have always been willing to have, really hard conversations. Where you've despised the water cooler talk. You hate when people get in the hallway and just. You're just in the meeting.
Yeah. Like you didn't say it in the meeting, but now
don't say it now.
You're like bossing up at the water cooler.
Yeah, but
don't do that.
You're gonna say it.
Yeah, I'll be the one person, but that gets tiring when you're the one outspoken person.
Oh no, the whistleblower is annoying. That's an annoying position. But no, I definitely agree with you. So let me ask you a question. What is the one thing that you learn to put down here that you will never pick up again? Like the one thing.
I don't know if I can answer that emphatically. I can tell you what I hope to not pick up again. Discrimination.
Wow, I never thought you would have said that.
Discrimination.
But not the way we probably think. Tell me what that means for you.
Just because someone thinks differently, don't run off in your mind and make a judgment and then know where to put them in your life, and you discriminate on because of that. So now you can't be my friend. Now we can't have a conversation. Now you can't hang out. Now I can't work with you. And I did that a lot.
Wow, I never saw that coming. You know why? And I think because we're so narrow-minded when it comes to what we think discrimination means. It always is tied to, your ethnic background or something like that. That's a really good point.
It's
because we all
ideology.
do it. We do it
all
all the
us.
time.
All of us.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many friends I have in my life right now that I'm like, oh, I'm serving as the one person that's different than you to give you another perspective.
Wow.
Like I know I'm fully serving as that person. Like Fred, if he says something ignorant about black people, I feel solely responsible. I feel solely responsible. I'm like, you can't say that, Fred. And we'll have these talks where it'd be like safe space, safe space. Like, can I say this? And it goes both ways. I'd be like, can I say this? And he's like, no, you can't say that.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
cool.
So
whenever he's down, I'm like, bruh, you can't say that. Like, what happened?
So funny.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But discrimination, I think, is very big. I am so grateful through all the hard times that I really am able to have conversations. And I'm so glad that I picked up the gift of asking questions here.
Yeah, right. You're really good at it too.
That's
I love questions because the question is really because I always want people to have a cathartic moment. So it's not really the questions that give to the person to me. I love questions. Because I love questions being asked to me so that I can actually think about it. So when we lead this conversation, I'll be thinking about those questions that you even asked or the topics we talked about because I'm always trying to evolve
I don't think I'd be as creative in my concepts if it wasn't for me working here. Because being here,
Eugene.
you guys can't see it. There's tape holding up a wall. This brick ain't real. Y'all know that.
But it looks so real.
There's tape.
Ladies and gentlemen,
there's
it looks
tape.
so real.
No. Okay, so I wasn't talking about tape on the wall like
I
we
know,
have
but
up
that's
here.
funny.
But what I will say is being here and being around such a strong conservative group, I have seen people that don't believe what they believe in other places, believing just as strongly in their beliefs, not the same belief, but in their belief.
Right.
And I've been here and I've been in meetings, I'm like, y'all know somebody over here thinks the exact same way that you do, but about something else.
Not like me.
And so one of my things was like, there's always a you on the other side of the aisle, always. And I'm telling you, I know this, right? So now thinking about content, I'm, as you know, personally, we've had conversations where I'm like, how do I bring people together?
You're all about that.
I'm all about but
Understanding. Actually, your thing is understanding.
and it came because of this place.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
this is my final question. What have you learned most about the character of God after your experience here?
Ooh. He keeps his word.
Ha! Shababa.
Republicans don't speak in tongues.
Oh. Wada, wada, wada.